Hey everybody, Jeremy Bourne with GrayMatter. I want to welcome Will Gage from Targa Resources. Will is Director of SCADA at Targa. Will, thanks for joining us today. It's good to see you.
Hey, thanks, Jeremy. I'm glad that I can join you today.
Yeah, I think we're going to have a great discussion as part of our Empower Up event today. So, Will, do you want to start things off by just telling folks a little bit about what you do and a little bit about Targa for those who might not know?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, my name is William Gage. I am the Director of SCADA here at Targa Resources. I've been at Targa now for about 3 years and started kind of in oil and gas, midstream and such, but Targa Resources is a full chain midstream company. We do gathering and processing, as well as fractionation and downstream delivery within our NGL markets, et cetera, et cetera. We are based out of Houston, and we are growing significantly. We're a very conservative company as it stands. We don't rush into things. And I think that's what gives us the foothold that we have today. You know, we're working through more visibility in a secure fashion, bringing data to a place where it makes sense. That amount of data, other systems make sense. We're not just fire hosing everything and ending up with just multitudes of data everywhere. So We've been thinking through that and enhancing our visibility. We've got some other projects we're working to reach to the far, outward spectrum of our systems and bring data all the way back. And those will be fun. And so I really do look forward to being able to come back and say, hey, remember when we talked about this?
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you all these things we learned, and let me tell you about okay, don't do this. This is a terrible idea.
Right.
Because again, my pain point might not be yours, but you never know. And that's why, again, I said learning from each other, Jeremy, is probably the most invaluable thing we can do. So, anybody that wants to talk to me can. I absolutely love it.
Well, is there a way, but there's so many tools and solutions out there that you evaluate them, that you look at how to assess the value of them?
Man, I tell you what, that's a tough one, Jeremy. You got me now. So evaluations of, I'm gonna call it tools and solutions, are not easy. I think it's funny because out of the, I'm not going to call them out, I just say that company that we all now love, where we have the SD2, I think now out of that space, you're going to have a lot of people that are going to want the market share. They're going to want a slice of the pie. And maybe I'm not going to answer the question 100%, but I'm getting there. But ultimately, to say is you're really going to have to just sit down and evaluate more than one product. I know I like to do that. I like to read a lot of white paper on solutions.
Sure.
If they have videos, thoroughly enjoy watching those and then talking to people, finding out who's using it. Because normally I'll shoot a message out to folks in my Rolodex and get some insight where some people have said, oh yeah, we're using that. And this works great, this doesn't. I've had a few people who've said it's a rotten egg, don't touch it. But I think the evaluations require you to see the value. You have to see value. So don't think of it as a proof of concept, right? We can concept all day long. Where's the value? Focus on solution. You may not have one thing that solves it all. And so when you put solutions together, I like to say this from a SCADA perspective. I like to see a tightly integrated, loosely coupled environment. Tightly integrated, loosely coupled. Because what that allows you to do is pull pieces apart, put new pieces in, or, totally change pieces and I still have what I need to get done without causing too much side effect. So again, if you do one-stop shop with one thing, when you change it, oh my gosh, turmoil. So you think through those pieces.
We've been hearing a lot about, the possibility of more federal regulations when it comes to cybersecurity, requiring companies to do more. How do you think about those and be prepared for them?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a sticky wicket. Let me just say that everything's preventable, right? We know that. Now, the question about it is why wasn't it actually preventable? So did the control system get infected in X? No. Or maybe somebody did get in and they turned on the chlorine pump and they started, wastewater guys. I'm sure you're just like, oh my God, I know. I feel for you. But chemical business. So
yep.
the position of it is I think as we look at the SDO2, where there is a very small subset of organizations that are having to deal with it right now. Is it going to expand? Yes, it will. SD03, you probably have already heard that it's coming.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be the first part of the year. And if I'm going to, put my little Van Gogh mark on it, it's going to be all about physical security, everybody. And so I think that from that perspective, it's the sister of cyber. We all know that it's there, but I think that the public-private partnership isn't really there. So what we're getting is something shoved down our throats. Be honest about it, Jeremy. I think I talked to Scott over a little glass of whiskey a couple weeks ago. Great time. If we can all do that, I think that'll help save a life. But honestly, I think that the private public partnership is a steaming pile of poop. I really wish it wasn't. I really wish that they would actively engage us all and really want to develop something more than a dictation.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you look at the SDO2 and the requirements, there are some out there that I've seen. I don't know how many FAQs I've seen come out in order to help understand and meet some of these regulations. I feel like if they would have taken a little bit more time to help work with us, it would not have required so much. I'm going to say this, and this is going to be terrible. I like PHMSA and how when they started through DOT, working through all the regulatory pieces to comply with the 192 and 195 areas of CRM and other pieces for PHMSA, they really did a nice job of making sure that the public-private partnership was well intact. Now, there has been a few knee-jerk reactions here and there, which, okay, I think that this is a huge one in the SDO2 and the SDO3. And I would hope and pray that as we continue to work into 2022 and beyond, that they're going to realize that, holy cow, what did we do? Let's augment what we've done, or let's modify this to where it makes more sense. We're more clear in our definitions. We understand how these environments work more, and we really push the next level. Because I felt like they picked all of these good areas, and we know the SANS critical 20, right? So if you look at it, there's some real big matches there. Matches with NIST, 83, et cetera, the CSF. It's no brainer. But I think that the level in which they just, hey, you have X number of months to get this thing done. And you look at some of these systems, I mean, I actually believe we're doing a disservice to our overall functional cybersecurity programs because we had to put this in so quickly. And so I would definitely say that if you don't have the SD2 that you are currently mandated to follow, there are some great companies out there, including GrayMatter, I think, that could help. Get with them, do an assessment, really start looking and assess what you have, and evaluate it based upon those pieces. Once you can do that, you have a little bit of time right now before you have to do it, and you should be able to walk through in a meaningful way to be ready. And anything you can do to be ahead of that game, you're going to be better off. You're going to be better off than some of the companies that had to turn this thing around in 3 months. Yeah. So again, I would just say start thinking through how are you going to do this. And IT, PCD folks, join together, because there are areas that are on the IT side, on the PCD side, and in between that need the experts to answer these questions. Don't one side go off and just do everything. Work together.
How do you see OT cyber just in general evolving, and what are some of the technologies that you're like most excited about?
I think that we're going to have to start getting into some automation on the PCD side, and there's some, even myself, I have some challenges with that. So how can we take action against something that we know is not right without affecting the availability of our controls?
Absolutely.
Right. That's the struggle. And that's really where, I've been doing that for a little while. We've already been working prior to Targa on some things that I keep with me, and I keep wanting to get to. And I think ultimately that's where we're going to end up. We're going to end up where we're engineering solutions to, in certain ways, augment a physical person having to do something and protect the system without, shooting ourselves in the foot from an availability and safety perspective. It's going to be exciting. That's what interests me, because we've known network visibility, we've known these things, and we're getting to that piece where we're getting more intelligent in how this world talks and works. So knowing the network piece, anybody in IT can do that. Knowing how the PLC works, anybody in OT can do that. Knowing how it all comes together, there are a very subset group of people that can make that work. And I would champion to say, if you have a desire to do that in your organization, be that person. Go learn, go connect, go be the person that will help your organization.
Well, Will, thank you so much for the conversation and for joining us at Empower Up. I think we covered a lot of ground today. I appreciate your time.
Oh yeah, absolutely, Jeremy. And like I said, anytime. I love the opportunity to talk to folks, and if anybody ever wants to reach out, I know that they can go through Scott or Alex or whomever. So you're more than welcoming to those opportunities.